Hello again, YouTube land. I know I posted once this week already, and as I said then, I wasn't sure if I'd post again or not. So here I am. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about cleaning. Yes, I know it's a recent theme with me. And cooking, which I don't talk about a huge amount, but I should. I love to cook. I love to feed people. So I was out and about today. Took yesterday off for the most part because I felt and got some stuff done, picked up some things that I needed for the house. But I'm in the middle, it's mid-afternoon, and I'm in the middle of going through the nonsense that my collection of kitchen items has become. And that's basically spring for me. I kind of look around at everything and go, when did this get so cluttered? And then like an hour later, everything is like, it's kind of like watching those extreme makeover shows where like you kind of see it happening, but basically you watch the first 10 minutes, you go to get something to eat, and when you come back, it looks like it's all been done. And in reality, it took like several hours or several days even. That's kind of what it looks like, and I'm sure it's like that for my husband. He leaves in the morning, he knows how the house looks, he thinks, all right, well, we'll get some cleaning done this weekend like we always do. He comes home and he's like, wait, what? Because I've done stuff. At the moment, I am still, regrettably, not working. I have an appointment with my job coach tomorrow, and hopefully that will change soon because, seriously, need a paycheck like a drug hit. But until that happens, I may as well try and get some extra stuff done around the house because I'm the one who's home, and the cat's not very good at running the vacuum. So I've pulled through my kitchen stuff, and I'm sorting and organizing, and one of the first things I gotta suggest, go through your Tupperware collection. Now, not everyone has Tupperware as in the official Tupperware brand, which does still exist. Most people, especially in New York, I imagine, or really I should say major metropolitan areas, of which New York is obviously one, you collect containers, you know? You get soup a couple nights a week from a place, or those nice plastic containers they give you at the Chinese place down the street. And somehow they get washed and they get saved. And you wouldn't think that would really accumulate. Open your cabinets. Check that drawer that you don't usually look in, that shelf behind the thing. They're all there, believe me. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Using them once or twice, I understand. And this is what I've told my husband. Using them once or twice, sorry, ow, itch, is fine. Properly washed out, you can absolutely reuse them depending on what food was in them. The smell and or stain and or taste might not come out. But you can absolutely do that. But beyond that, don't bother. Don't bother for a couple of reasons. The first of which is what I just said. Taste, smell. Sometimes these things don't come out of plastic. Two, they're so easy to get. Any 99-cent or more store, Family Dollar Tree, probably Christmas Tree Shop or Michael's, any of the tchotchke markets around anywhere are going to carry that kind of stuff. You know, the foil pans and containers, the plastic tubs with lids, the cute little metallic box with the plastic lid you get at like the Thai restaurant. They sell those at the dollar store for a reason, because they're used so much. They're not only available at like restaurant supply stores. A lot of the restaurants I know of around my area probably shop at the dollar stores the same as I do. So there's no reason to keep them. Beyond that, they're not really efficient. If you keep leftovers around for a while, which many remarkably people, you know, busy people do, they're not worth using, okay? They're not airtight. They're not meant for long-term storage. They're meant for short-term food delivery. So get rid of them, okay? If you're going to have Tupperware, it's one of the few kitchen things that requires a very nominal investment, and really should be invested in. They have sets at places like the Container Store, at places like your higher end kitchen supply places, Sur La Table, Bloomingdale's, any major department store like JCPenney or Macy's or Sears. They're going to have a kitchen section, and I'm betting they're going to have a reliable, airtight set of food storage devices. So I really would say invest in them. Get the ones that are specific to your needs, ones that are meant for dishwasher safe, reusable, don't take on smell or whatever. They can be found and they should be gotten. Next. I was cleaning yesterday afternoon, went through 2 shelves off of my bookcase, got rid of several books, about a half a shelf worth, maybe more, and it allows me to, reorganize and put in new stuff that I've recently picked up or whatever. And it also gives me an opportunity to wipe down the shelves. And while I was wiping down the shelves, I was saying to myself, wow, these get remarkably dusty. I really do forget how much dust is around in the air and can accumulate, because we don't happen to have an air purifier like a lot of people do. And living in the city, it's actually one of the things that if you can afford it, if you don't have a building that provides that kind of high-end thing, it's something that really, it's probably a good idea to invest in for most people. In my case, it's a good idea because I have asthma. Now, my asthma is a marginal case. It doesn't dramatically flare up. I don't have violent, sudden, frequent attacks or anything of the like, which is pretty fortunate given that I'm still working on my weight and that I used to be a smoker. But it's something worth considering. But because we don't have one, the dust settles on everything. And I think to clean the TV with the electronic wipes and the computers and all that. But I often forget about simple things like the bookcases, and I vacuum 2-3 times a week, but I actually lifted the carpet. We have an area rug, a rather large area rug, in our living room and our bedroom. I actually stopped and lifted one side of it. I'm not kidding. I swept up a pound of dust. No, that's not a joke. A pound. So when I was out today, one of the things I did was go and pick up a set of dust masks, the kind that goes like this, kind of makes you sound like Darth Vader, plastic strap around the back, because we are deep cleaning the hell out of our apartment this weekend. Because, no, first of all, it's bad for the floors, it's bad for the carpets to have that much dust sitting underneath. It's quite obviously horrific for the breathing of anyone trying to be in this space, not the least of which is me and my asthma. But that's just, oh, no. So that's how we're spending part of our weekend. What else was I going to talk about? Cooking. Okay, cooking. Yeah, I'm about halfway through my time here. I cook. A lot of people cook. Not enough at home. A lot of people don't cook enough at home, which is how those Tupperware collections get started. I know because when I moved in with my husband originally, he had a quite ample one. Native New Yorker. Now we have a quality airtight set of containers, probably like 8 or 9 pieces of varying sizes, but that's respectable. That's tolerable. But I like to cook. And I get these ideas for things to cook just from being around, really. And most people, I think, and I'm guilty of this. I've definitely been guilty of it. I'm sure I'll be guilty of it again in the future. Most people are very afraid to try and cook something that they've never cooked before because they don't think they have the right cookware. They don't think their oven works that well. They don't think they have the time to invest in it. They don't think that it's worth the cost of the ingredients. It's, there's any number of reasons people go into that they just don't cook at home. I'll tell you what, from my experience, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. More than once, and for me this is a particular problem when I'm trying to bake something, like bread or pastries or something like that. More than once, I have tried a new recipe, and boy, did I botch it. Oh my God. I can't even, like, this wasn't batter, it was soup. That's how bad some of my initial baking screw-ups can be. And it does. It settles on your mind as, God, I wasted the supplies and I've wasted the ingredients and now I have to go and get more and I've already taken so much time trying to do this. Okay, well, you know what? A really simple thing to keep in mind, don't try making a new recipe for the first time when you don't have time to screw it up. It's as simple as that. If you want to try a new recipe, make that your day off recipe. The day you know you're going to be home doing practically nothing else, except, the stuff that can't be avoided. And that's when you do that. Because then you have the time to stop and read the entire recipe. Make sure that you have your mise en place, which, if you've ever heard it before, it's French for everything in its place. It's where you take little dishes and stuff and you pre-measure all the ingredients that you need so that not only do you know you have all the ingredients, but you have all of the right portions of the ingredients. Because any number of times it very easily comes to pass that a recipe calls for 3 cups of all-purpose flour and you realize you only have a cup and you need to go down to the supermarket and get more, So doing that kind of thing makes those first-time recipes a lot easier. And here's one thing I've done several times, and I know a lot of people do this. I don't always read the recipe through and then start. And that's pretty novice. One of the easiest ways to prevent yourself from having horrific cooking experiences is to be forewarned. Because with cooking like everything else, being forewarned is being forearmed. Having that knowledge coming into it, you'll know when you're making that rack of lamb that you shouldn't keep opening the oven, that, you should wait 30 minutes and then use the probe thermometer, unless you have one you can leave in while it's cooking, which I do. That's the kind of thing that you won't know unless you read through the recipe in the first place, so that when the timer does go off, and if you don't have a timer, I'm positive there's one on your microwave somehow, or you should get one, or you should set the alarm on your cell phone. You should keep a running timer. You should always have a timer that works, especially if you're going to cook. Because it takes a long time to learn up here roughly how many minutes have gone by so you know to go back and check on something. Most people can't master that. It took me years to get close to being okay at doing it. So I do that a lot, and I think it pays off. I know that Sam has told me often enough that he enjoys my cooking. It took him a while to learn etiquette, though, when it comes to critiquing someone's cooking. Because I'm not saying he's trying to pretend to be like a food critic or something, but he'll have comments like anyone would when they try something, Oh, well, I think this is really good this way, but could you make it with a little more pepper? Is it possible to put a little more cheese in the recipe next time? I'm not a fan of that vegetable. Could you maybe make it like this for me instead? That kind of stuff. And one of the big ticket items that he had to learn when it came to that is something that a lot of parents teach their kids. Don't say something until you've tried it. And that's just a good rule of common sense. Don't criticize someone's effort at making you something until you've tried it. Don't pick up the salt and douse your food before you've actually taken a bite. But he did learn that, and he's gotten much better at it. I'm sorry, Tribble's being remarkably cute in his chair. So those are today's comments on cleaning and organization and cooking. And I may or may not post again sooner than later. I don't know. Depends how motivated I feel and how much I get done. Talk to you later.